Hello, it's me. It's Thursday, it's 3 o'clock in the UK, so it must be time for YouTube Live with me. At least I hope it is, because I'm here and I'm hoping other people might join. Let's see if I'm live. I am live. And if you read the introduction, you will see that today we are featuring the iconic dies. While you are joining, couple of bits of housekeeping. Today is Thursday, the 11th of November. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. If you are watching live, you will see in the top left-hand corner a button that says live. That means it's live. So you're catching me live. If you don't see anything in the top right-hand corner, it means you're catching a replay. If you have any questions or comments and you're watching the replay, do please ask them below the description bar in the comments section, and I will get back to you in the next few days. We are about to start On Stage, which is the demonstrator only annual conference. It's our large conference. So it starts at 4:30 this afternoon and will be running for the next 3 days, roughly. So I will be a little slower in getting back to things than I would normally be. And I know I'm not normally that fast. So this afternoon at 4:30, from 4:30 for about 2 hours, we've got awards and recognition. So I'm quite excited to see that. You never know what might happen. If you enjoy the video while you're watching it or on replay, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube channel, in the bottom right-hand corner, sorry, it's the other way around for me. So in the bottom right-hand corner, that way, there's a little icon where you can click to say, hello, Jess. You can click to subscribe, and if you hit the alert bell, you will get an email when I go live or when I upload a video. Good morning, Suzanne from Washington State. So yes, I am one away from my 9,270. So fingers crossed. Hello, Rachel. So yes, I've decided to use the iconic dies this week because next week, from the 16th to the 18th, we will be having an annual sale. Way! So for those 3 days, it actually starts at 11 o'clock on the 15th if you're in the UK, but hey. For 3 days, we are having a discount on items in the annual catalogue. And we will be getting 10% off card, 15% off classic inks, and by that I mean the ones that look like this, not the ones that are in non-stamping up packaging, by which I mean things like this, or Memento stays on. So if it's stamping up colours, there'll be 15% off those, but not off bundles. It's just on the individual ink pads, and there's also 20% off dies from the annual catalogue. What you need to look at is whether it is better to, if you want the dies, to buy the bundle. Still, just work out the maths, but 20% off dies, brilliant. And there are some dies like the iconic dies that are on their own. Let me catch up with what's going on. So Rachel's looking forward to On the Stage, on loan at home. That's sad. I know, we are alone. But yes, looking forward to that. Sherry is joining from Oregon, and it's kind of dark there. Dare I say, it's kind of dark here, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's one of those grey days. Marlene is with us from a rainy Wisconsin, and Nora is here from Ireland. So yes, have a look at that. As I say, 16th to 18th of November. I will drop an email round for those of you who are on my mailing list. You were eyeing up the iconic dies. Well, hopefully I will get you some inspiration. I have done here's one I made earlier, which I'm 95% happy with, but I'm going to change a couple of little things. Hello, Steffi. So Jess and Steffi are on my team. We had a team meeting yesterday. Jess is new. She is in my 3rd level. So she's about, she's our in my 3rd level, and she's only just joined. She joined using the amazing Start with Savings joining kit. £75 for £130 worth of goods. I don't know. Oh no, someone's in quarantine. I'm sorry you're in quarantine. Hello, Barbara. So yes, don't forget we have got the Start with Savings, and I would show you the brochure, but I can't, or flyer, but I haven't got, oh yes I have. I have got one. Here's a flyer. So £75, €100, free postage, and £130, €179 of goodies. So I'm going to flip the camera down because I've got quite a lot to do between now and when on-stage awards and recognition starts. So I'm only going to make one card today. Sorry. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one, I hope. So let's pop the camera down. And I'm going to show you the dies first. I have got some of them out because I have used them. I'm not die cutting. You'll be pleased to hear you aren't going to have to watch me die cut. So you can watch me put them away, however. So we've got 2 toadstools, which I'm using. Obviously, that's why I'm putting them away. We've got a leaf that's veins, and we've got a leaf that has veins on it, but it's a solid leaf. And we've also got a fern, which if you're in New Zealand, I think you could use that for your what's the word I'm looking for? Symbol, country symbol. I know the All Blacks wear it. Hello, Brenton from down under. Good morning. Well, good afternoon for me. But so yes, so as I say, we're going to whiz through. Well, actually, it's not going to be a whiz because I'm going to take some time doing it, but we are going to go through. So the ones I haven't used, we've got this huge flower, bird, an enormous bee. Please, if you're going to make a card with this, please do not put the bee too close to the bird, because this bee is on steroids. I mean, it's huge. But that will actually work quite nicely with some new goodies that are coming in the new mini catalogue, which I will be playing with tomorrow because we're using it for the onstage makes. There's little flowers, there's a sort of medium-sized flower and this lovely branch, so you can have the birds on the branch. But it is a standalone die set. So if you're thinking about this, this would be a great one to get during the seasonal sale, which, as I say, is from the 16th to the 18th of November, which is next week. I will also be launching next week my adhesive sale, so keep your eyes peeled for that, because I have restocked my adhesive and I will be doing some discounted offers on adhesive, because we all need adhesive, particularly coming up to Christmas when we suddenly realise we've got another 20 cards we need to make. Anyway, so let me show you the card that we are making. I am going to move everything down a little bit because I don't like this gap here. So I am going to move everything down, but other than that, it's going to be the same. So I've got a crumb cake base, a white, basic white mat, and a Merry Merlot mat, which I will be using. Do you have the mini already? The catalogue? No, Barbara? No? We'll get it during on stage. Barbara's one of my team. She's in Germany. No, but I bought the items that we're using for the stamp and share. And I know there's bees in it. So, no, I don't. So, I've got a piece of scrap because my grid paper is still fairly pristine. I have already die cut a large toadstool, a small toadstool, 2 of the solid leaves and 2 of the veined leaves, and for some reason, and I don't know why, I've got 2 ferns, possibly because I thought they were going to be a bit delicate. Yeah, we'll get them at some point during the next 3 days, Barbara. I've die cut in thick white because some of these are quite fragile. So I just wanted to protect or give them more chance of being solid. I am going to wear a glove because I'm going to get inky. I'm using sponge daubers. So my colours are, in no particular order, crumb cake, pumpkin pie, cinnamon cider, crushed curry, poppy parade, green, garden green and merry merlot. You could probably do without quite as many as that, but I was just pulling, and that's where I got to. I'm going to start with pumpkin pie, and yes, I am one of those people who labels their sponge daubers because I like to use the same sponge dauber time and time again. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some, there may be enough on here without re-inking, so I'm going to add a bit of pumpkin pie to the base, and by base I mean the bottom of where the colour is of one of my toadstools. I will do both of them, but I'm doing one at a time with the pumpkin pie. So I'm concentrating on the base. I'm not worried that I'm going over the top. Let me show you what I've done so far. So that's what we've done so far. Go over that a bit again. I probably will come back in with this, and I'm going to do the same on the small one. Just rubbing across, and this is why I'm using the thick white, because if you were doing that with the ordinary white, it might tear. Poppy Parade, just coming in over the top. I probably will need to re-ink this because I want my Poppy Parade to be really bright. I'm going for what I would call, thank you Steffi, I would call this a nursery rhyme toadstool. Or fairy tale toadstool. So we're going for, you know, red. It's dangerous. It's red. So that's, and I'm going to pop the pumpkin pie back on and just blend that in a bit. And then back with the Poppy Parade on this one. As I say, I like it apart from I need to get this spacing sorted out a bit. I thought we had a ribbon in the annual catalogue that we don't. And so I had to, after I'd stuck everything down, more or less, I suddenly realised I had to change my design. Thank you, Jess. So red and orange. So just getting that nice blend. So we've got a, what I, as I say, call a classic fairy tale toadstool. That's all I need those two for. Now you could probably get away with not using the pumpkin pie and using crushed curry instead. But I've got the inks, so I'm using them because I've got them. Hello, Lorna. So, crumb cake. Now, crumb cake is a really odd colour when it's on dauber. It's almost like rich raspberry, but it's not. It is crumb cake. I just need the smallest amount of this. Because I want this to be, you know, that slightly not white, slightly pinkish colour that toadstools have. That's what I'm looking for. And one of the things that's really nice about this is that because it's got, I mean, these are cut, these lines, but because they're there, they are indented, so they don't pick up the colour. So you do get a little bit of light and shade. So that's our first, that's our large mushroom toadstool, and then the same again for the small one. But it does help to get some texture. So there we go, those are our two toadstools. Don't need that one anymore, so don't need that anymore. Don't need Poppy Parade anymore. Right, I'm going to start with the fern. Let's move away from the very red area. Garden green, a colour I use rarely, I've realised. But yeah, don't know why. So I'm picking up from the lid. There's ink in the lid. I might as well clean the lid while I'm at it a bit. So I'm going to be slightly circumspect with this and not rub backwards and forwards, but kind of go in the direction of the leaves rather than going backwards on them because they're less likely to tear. I do need a little bit more. It's quite a juicy ink pad. I will be adding some more colour to this. I'm going, obviously, I say obviously, I'm going for sort of an autumnal look. I'm going for a look that looks not that different from what's out on our lane, which is beginning to look very autumnal, although we've just had some new trees planted, which is lovely. It's softening the view of the building site quite nicely. So let's give this a bit of a thump. Just to get some more colour on. As I say, I'm going to come back with some additional colour, but that's the beginnings of our fern. I'm going to put a bit of green onto our solid leaves as well, because they're dying, but they're not dead quite yet. Now, of course, those of you who are in Australia at the moment, you will be thinking autumn, because you're heading into spring and summer. I remember many years ago, I visited some cousins who lived at that point in Perth in Western Australia in February. I left during a snowstorm, which is rare in the UK. What kind of trees? All sorts, Barbara. We've got holly, we've got field maple, I think, or maybe field hawthorn, flowering cherries, flowering plums, crab apples, Cox's on orange pippin, I think, as well. The idea is to have colour throughout the year. They're quite small at the moment. They're going to need a couple of years to establish fully, and then obviously they'll grow, so we're going to have to look after them quite carefully for a while, but hubby and I are happy to water them. Right, cinnamon cider. I want just a little bit on my fern, possibly a little bit more than that. But yes, as I say, the idea is to have colour as much as possible throughout the year. And we've deliberately chosen things that won't grow too large, because obviously we need to think about root damage on houses, because they are the houses on the new estate are quite close to the track that these things are planted on, so we don't really want them to damage them, because that wouldn't be a good idea. I'm going to put more cinnamon cider on the solid leaves, but I do still want that green to be a little bit evident. It was less than evident on my first version, probably because I went into the middle with my sponge dauber with the cinnamon cider, which was not quite what I had planned. And I'm also going to put some cinnamon cider onto the veins, by which I mean these two here. And they're going to have cinnamon cider across the middle. So that's, I think, all I'm going to need that for. So this is how the leaves are looking so far, and the fern needs more, and particularly yellow, which is where the crushed curry is going to come in. So crushed curry, and I want some more yellow on the small leaves as well, and on the fern, surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly. So crushed curry on the veins, and on the crushed curry on my finger, apparently. Oh, I had my flu jab this morning. So in the UK, normally you need to be 65 plus to get an automatic flu jab, or have an underlying health condition like asthma or things like that, or more serious things. But because we obviously didn't have that much flu last year, because we were all behind masks and inside our houses, they are a little concerned that even if we don't have another horrific outbreak of COVID, we might have a flu epidemic. So those of us who are, I think if you're over 50 you can get one now. Anyway, but I am way past being over 50. So I had my flu jab this morning, and so far, touching wood, where's some wood? No idea. My head will do. I'm feeling fine. They do say that you could get a little achy. Is maybe adding it to my list for next week. Promotion. Yes, Marlene, absolutely. That is exactly why I'm using it. Love the autumn colours. Thank you, Jess. Your arm still hurts. Oh, joy. Well, tomorrow I will be at the gym. So let's hope my arm doesn't hurt too badly. There are 2 types of flu jab that we have in the UK. One is made in, so it has a carrier. The liquid is a carrier. And one of the carriers is cell-based, whatever that means. I'm not a medic. And the other is egg-based. And I have a very, very, very mild intolerance to egg album, i.e. white. And that is what they often put it in. However, when I was there this morning, and I don't react badly, it just means I'm more likely to be... hello, Leslie. It just means I'm more likely to react if it's in album. But fortunately, I had one of the last 8 that wasn't in album. So I'm hoping it won't be too bad. So far, I feel fine. I'm keeping myself hydrated and all those good things. Merry Merlot is my last colour, because some leaves do have that lovely red tinge, particularly when it's sunny, unlike today. I'm going to go a little bit Merry Merlot around the edges of these. These are definitely a better colour than they were. And one of these I'm going to keep solid, and one I'm going to get a pair of snips and cut at the ends, because, oh, that's right, get Merry Merlot on your scissors. Yeah, so I want one of these to be, one of the leaves to be small. Hello, Claire. Love your watch strap. Amazon, £3. Really cheap. So this is a Versa 2, a Fitbit Versa 2, and it's, yeah, really cheap. So this is an affirmation band. So I don't know, I'm assuming that you're meaning this side and not that side. This comes from a company called Oz, O-Z-Z, bands, who are in the UK. For those of you who are in Australia, I'm afraid these people are in the UK, but the chap who runs it is an Australian. But I love their affirmation bands. Just worked out why you're wearing a glove. Yeah, quite. Yeah. Don't really want to spend the rest of the afternoon trying to get ink off my fingers. So, that is all the inking done. So I can now take this off. I'll still get a little bit of ink on my fingers, but not quite as much as I would otherwise. So yes, I have a lot of these. I think they're just called household gloves. You get them in the supermarket. They're left and right-handed, as in no hand at all. Same whichever side you put them on. Right, so I have got my white and my Merry Merlot. Let's get those out of the way. Let's get those down there. Pop, that might as well go in the bin, because I won't use it again. Don't need that, because I managed to not break anything. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach my white to my Merry Merlot mat. And I'm actually going to put my adhesive on the Merry Merlot, because I find it easier to stick to something that's got sticky on it, rather than to stick something sticky on something, if that makes sense. And because I know that I just have a narrow edge round here, I know where I can put my adhesive. But it then means I can hold this and place it without getting stuck to it. Which is also good. So those of you who were on the team call last night, so it's one of those, you know, rules like if you drop a piece of toast, it's going to land butter side down, those sorts of things. Literally 5 minutes before I was about to to launch a Zoom meeting for my team meeting, my laptop decided it would be a stonkingly good idea to do a very, 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 very large update, which sort of stopped about 5 minutes before our meeting ended. But actually it went on for another hour. But anyway, so I ended up running my team meeting through my phone, which did mean, unfortunately, that we couldn't stream it into our Facebook group, which is what we normally do for those people who either don't like joining on a Zoom call or couldn't join at a particular time, but it means they can catch up later. So, Murphy's Law, that's the one. But yes, it actually didn't completely finish sorting itself out until this morning. I had to do a massive clean because it was running so slowly after the update that it was mind-numbingly slow. So I did a clean. Right, so I've tied that in a knot because I find it easier to tie it in a knot and then tie it in a bow. Now, as it happens, this particular reel of linen thread, fortunately I have a number of spare reels of linen thread. When I came to cutting it for a recent class in the mail, I noticed that it was kind of unravelling. So I am embracing that for this particular card. Needless to say, I didn't send my class customers unravelled linen thread. They got a nice, nice, straight, properly twined, twizzled, that's what I'm looking for, thread. But there are occasions when you want to untwizzle your linen thread. This is one of them, so I'm using my untwizzled linen thread reel. So I'm just tying that in a knot. The ends aren't quite as long as the original, which is fine. So they're going like that, and then I will be adhering them at some point. First thing I'm going to do this time, which is not what I did last time, is put down the bits at the bottom so I can fill this space a little better, and then if I need to I can pull the linen thread down before I then put the toadstools and things on. So the first thing I'm going to stick down is this. I'm going to use liquid adhesive. You don't need a lot, and this is going to go off the edge. So it's going to go that way up. So I want adhesive definitely on the leaves at the top, or anywhere would be good. That's it. As I say, you don't need a lot. You just need to sort of catch a few places. And then I'm going to do a little bit on the leaves opposite and just on that bit of stalk. And then, getting those bits out of the way, I'm just going to lay it down onto the card and let it do its own thing. Like that. Then I'm going to come in with my skeleton leaves. And again, I'm going to have some coming off. Hello, Beverly. So, yes. Oh, and any of my customers who are watching, I've had some really nice comments about the last gift box that I sent. So, you are all very welcome. I really do like to look after my customers very carefully, because they're my customers. They're my livelihood. So why wouldn't I, basically? Customer service is always important. So I'm going to overlap this a little bit. Let's pop that down. And as I say, I will be trimming that off. And I'll be trimming it off before I put it on the card base. And then this one I'm going to have kind of poking up a bit more. I'm thinking I might actually do it that way up this time. So this one I'm going to have solid on. Glad you're using these dies. You have them and didn't know what. Well, there you are, Becky. The reason I'm using them, just in case you didn't hear earlier, is because we've got a sale coming up on the 16th to 18th, and dies are going to be 20% off. And because the iconic dies are a standalone die set as opposed to bundled, I don't think they were ever bundled. They're a good one to get at 20% off. Thank you, Carol Ann. So yes, these are the iconic dies from the annual catalogue. It's a little higher up than I really wanted it, but it's fine. So I'm quite happy actually with how I've got my linen thread. All I'm going to do is bring that down a bit and push that up a bit so it's now not straight, and I'm perfectly happy with that. There are occasions when I can get my head round it. This is one of those occasions. What I do want to do is just attach these ends a little bit so that they don't fly around quite as much as they are. And I do actually have a little bit of spare adhesive here anyway. So let's just add a little bit more and pop that there. Now I want that with the case on it, because that can then push that down a bit. Push that down, thank you. You only really need to attach one bit, particularly when they're this short, unless you want to do a real twizzle. Beverly has them too, and it's so good to see how you coloured them. Thank you. Well, yes, I mean they are, once you put colour on them, I think they will work really well. But I think to die cut them in just a solid colour, you're not getting the most out of them, in my personal opinion. Obviously everyone has a different opinion and mine is only one of them. Right, so that's those. Next it is the toadstools, and they are toadstools, not mushrooms. You would not want to eat these. And I'm going to pop this one just a little bit up. It's smaller. I'm thinking it's further away. So it's going to be slightly up, not that you can see their bases, but I will know that it's slightly up. And you just need, again, a few touches of adhesive. You don't need to go mad. I mean, you could, if you were not great with adhesive, you could use the adhesive sheets before you die cut. Turn it into a sticker. I'm just going to push that down. The bigger mushroom I'm going to have slightly further forward and up, but I'm going to make sure that I don't, let me show you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do that. That's what I'm not going to do. I am not, let's get that out of the way, there we go. I am not going to overlap so that you can see the small toadstool through the big one, because I want these dots to look white. So just if you don't want your toadstool to look see-through, just bear that in mind. So large dimensional, une autre, large dimensional, and another, and I have got, I think somewhere, yes, half minis, and a half mini works really quite nicely just up at the top here. Actually, I might go the other way round. I might go that way round. So I've got a half mini just at the top, and then solids, big ones, solid big ones. So let's just get rid of those bits of backing. And so I'm happy to overlap. I just don't want the small toadstool to show through onto the big toadstool. So I now know. Hello, Darcy from Canada. So I now know in my head that this one is further forward than this one. I'm going to cover up the spaces, but I at least know that they're doing what I want them to do. So this I'm going to just add down on the ground, as it were. And then I have to say, in honour of Brenton, who mentioned these on Tuesday's live, I'm going to be using some of the holiday rhinestones, because he reminded me that they exist. I mean, I knew they existed, but I'd sort of forgotten about them. That wants to come up a little bit. That's better. So that's one. Then this one I'm going to have sort of sitting on the bottom of the larger toadstool. So I'm going to add my adhesive to the larger toadstool. Why not, I say. So that's going there. And then this one I'm going to tuck in underneath. Then we're nearly finished. So, fortunately, the law of Murphy did not work, and it didn't end up sticky side down on my sleeve. I would have been very upset had that happened. So that's the basic. We need to trim the base, and then we can pop it all together. So I have a separate pair of snips for sticky stuff, which is what I'm going to take this off with, because I've got glue on some of the leaves. So I'm going to play safe and use my sticky glue, sticky scissors. Such cheery colours, thank you. Hello Elfie from Toronto, or Toronto area. Oh, now next week, I think it is, next week, I will be sharing all the lovely cards that people sent me for my birthday. I've been stunned by the cards that I've had. It's just wonderful. Right, okay, so as I say, in honour of Brenton, holiday gems. Now, for some reason, I don't seem to like some of the colours, but I do like them. These are actually cherry cobbler, but I'm going to be using these, which are pumpkin pie. And as I've used pumpkin pie on my card, it seemed sensible to use pumpkin pie on my, on my card. So I'm just going to add 3. If you know me, you know I like my odd numbers. They're going in slightly different places because it's all slightly different. So that's what I would call a medium-sized one. And then we've got small one just tucked in there. And I might as well use this other medium one and without the cat hair and pop it in just there. I do like things that touch other things. Does that make sense? So this is sort of touching the leaves. This is touching the leaves, and this is just tucked underneath the toadstool. So that's it. I did contemplate putting a sentiment on, and I decided against it. I think I like the cleanness of no sentiment. Can always put a sentiment on the inside. Now this, I know I said I like to stick things onto sticky things, but I'm using liquid adhesive, which is slightly different in my brain. I do have a very odd brain, clearly. I'm going to add this to the back of my, need a new glue. That's fine, I have just taken my order of new glue. So if you're in the UK, keep your eyes peeled for my glue sale, which will be coming next week. And we can have lots of sales. As in, you know, we've got the sale on dyes and card and ink, so we might as well have a sale on glue. We'll have to see it on replay. Oh no, well, actually, Leslie, we're pretty much done now, because I was only going to replicate this because on stage. So there we go. So this one was kind of the prototype, and this is the, I'm definitely happier with this one. I'd be even happier if I stuck it down properly. But yes, so those are our 2 cards. Let me bring them up a little bit. So yes, so those of you who are demonstrators, enjoy on stage. And those of you who aren't, if you want to know what on stage is all about, you can always use the spend and start with savings. Yes, start with saving offer. to join. Wherever you are in the world, it is available. UK and Europe, it is £75, €100 for £130, €179 of product, free shipping, and get a discount until the end of April at the very earliest. So there we go. I also just want to show you, if you haven't seen my blog post today. Good, I'm glad, Jess. Glad it helped. If you didn't see my blog post today, this is the card that I made for my blog post. It is certainly in the UK and the Commonwealth, it is Remembrance Day. So that's what I posted, and I actually didn't talk about the project at all. So if you want to go and have a read of that, you'll find out a bit more about things I've been up to over the years that are to do with the services. So as in the armed forces. But yeah, do go and have a look at that. Let's see, what have we got? Thank you, Caroline. Love autumn, just wish it wasn't so cold. Absolutely, Rachel. That is why we have it, yes. Looking forward to on stage at home and going to see the new catalogue and pre-order. Absolutely. In America, it's Veterans Day. Yes, I did see one of the Americans post about Veterans Day. So let me flip the camera up if my mouse would like to work. Thank you. And then I can say farewell properly. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day, whether that's beginning, middle or end. I, as I say, am going to be setting up for on stage very soon. Lest we forget, absolutely. The nearest I could get was Always Remember, which is from the matching sentiment set. Peaceful Poppy something. Peaceful Poppies? Peaceful... It's Poppy... I can't remember. Anyway, it's that one. It's on my website, so I don't need to remember. And I'm doing it again, aren't I? It's Always Remember. Anyway, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you, Brenton. I am going to set up for on stage. I will try and get this ready, posted for tomorrow. At some point tomorrow, I've got to do my Simple Stamping Saturday video, which I had completely forgotten about. And Peaceful Moments. Thank you, Steffi. And I've also, before on stage at home this evening, I've got to walk to the church and lock that because I'm on church unlocking and locking duty this week and next week. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. I will put up my farewell screen and I hope to see you again on Tuesday, 11 o'clock AM UK time for another live. Okay, bye. That one. Bye bye.